Alright, Chapter 8, Section 3, the miscellaneous inspection. Waterways. Maximum water level in the waterways should be inspected during the immediately following the period with the flow of the with the effect of the high water for the most apparent over these times. This is not always possible to knowledge of the height of the past major floods, but the stream gauge of the record with the other sort of tug of the observation made during the immediately following with the high water for helpful determining the accuracy of the water opening other lower surface with the high water marks that are left on the tree. The water marks the pane with the surface of the debris water beneath the deck level of the bridge with the bridge seats. Information establishes local resistance to the efficient freeboard with the primary character of the adequate waterways in addition with the sign of the bench of the previously lateral displacement. Figure 832 shows know the debris accumulation on the deck. The above and the older substitution superstructure for the prior indication of the insufficient freeboard with the diameter debris compound with the problems with the scan freeboard with the check of the debris with the power of the bank for the upstream with the around with the bridge. Obstructing the breathing and vegetation of the waterways, both the upstream and the downstream, they reduce the width of the waterway, contributing with the score with the even become the fire has the same with the gravel the bar of the form of the channel may increase the stream with the velocity lead with the score of the near pier of the mountains, the score of the channel profile of the stream bed with respect to the score of the degradation of the channel profile should be taken carefully, particularly with the general 100-foot intervals extending for the few hundred feet of the upstream and the downstream should exhibition with the information to be compared with the past. Record will be often revealed the summary of the problem score from the shifted with the channel of degradation. Sounding should the score should be taken in aerial pattern with the large river appear with the shore bank of the protection examine the addition the adequacy of the existing bank of the shore protection show the bank of the levee for the erosion cover the extreme proper location the skew of the bridge and the pair of the button note whether the channel of the chamber the impairing of the decree of the effectiveness in presence of protection, determining whether the advisable add the more channel of the protection that provides the existing protection, high water bank backwater, particularly after the location where the back high fill for the adequate debris of the jam the culverts may create with a very high backward water fill acts for the dam with the possibility of the washout during the rainfall that the failure could result in wave action through the effect of the wave, the effect of the bridge and approaching and its approach existing potential problems. The area around the bridge and approach with any of the existing potential problems, such as ice and jams. Spur dikes to observe the condition of the functioning of the existing spur dikes. 823 paint. Examine all the paint carefully with the crack with the chip of the scale of the rust pimple with the chalk and the look for the evidence with the alligator and if the paint film is disintegrated with the note of the paint. Prime coat with the surface of the nail with the expose the note with the extent of the severity of the paint deterioration, the extent of the spot of the paint with the will required properly with the entire structure should be repainted, otherwise the painting will most likely be sufficient. Look at the paint with the upward horizontal surfaces with the structure of which are most exposed to the sunlight of the moisture, given the particular attention to the area of the round of the river to the both of the end of the beam with the seam of the bulb up and built up member of the unwell the end of the stiffener any of the other areas that may be difficult to paint with it may retain the moisture. Alright, 824 sign. The section concerned with the presence of the defectiveness of the bridge sign of the sum of the bridge of the military installation must care for the both of the military civilian traffic of the sign of the necessary for the both type of the traffic required regulatory sign of the bridge inspection should be determined prior to the inspection in the absence of the required sign of the condition of the existing sign should be noted during the inspection of the civilian traffic AASHD manual uniform traffic control device should be consult with the specific information regarding the sign of the military sign should be inspected according to the following guidelines. The type of the sign. The inspection of the bridge signing with not only should be presently posted sign should be inspected with it should be determined whether additional signs should need to be kept at the channel of the bridge roadway condition the type of the warning regulatory sign normally required. Your weight the most important with the inspection, particularly with the older deteriorated bridge of the limit, should be determined the bridge classification procedure outline the chapter depending on the bridge type of the extent of the expected the bridge for the bridge may be needed with both military civilian load classification. Typical military load classification signs are shown in the figure 833. Civilian load limited signs should be in accordance with local legal requirements of the AASHDO manual uniform control traffic devices. 2. Overhead clearance. Minimum overhead clearance of the military vehicles are summarized in table 8.2 that should be checked for the overhead. Show the 16-inch minimum, 20-inch minimum, and your typical military loading classing signs. 8.2 minimum overhead clearance of the bridge of a 4x70, 14 foot to 71 foot or over 15 foot 6 inches. Our clearance is left within the values prescribed by the table. The actual clearance of the most meaningful the telltale sign with the figure 834 with the civilian traffic bridge. The clearance of the bridge should be more with the shown with the figure 835 with the civilian traffic clearance with less than 1 foot higher with the local legal height with the road with the limits of the low clearance of the where the existing civilian signs are in place with the sufficient clearance with the additional clearance of the vertical and horizontal military vehicle. The not required road width of the bridge with the width, the limitations off the limit, the maximum class of the military vehicle, the bridge with the maximum length with the width of the specifically bridge class with the summary of the table A3 with the should be checked with the the inspection made with the new bridge for the narrow, but it should be civilian bridge with the narrow bridge sign with the striped paddle boards with the figure 835 should be used when the bridge with the left and that of the approach roadway. The superstructure pair of the ends extends above the curb. They should be stripped and reflectorized hazard marker that is attached. Near the underpath of the roadway, the dam of the underpath of the weather, the pier with the middle of the roadway stripped the hazard. Marking that should be played with the abutment wall of the pier with the ceiling breath. The reflector of the hearts of marks that should also be played for the pier with the abutment approaching the bay, and then it should be appropriately marked with the warning with approaching the traffic of hazards. Speed and traffic maneuver. The tap of the sign with the check with the certain with the weather of the air. An appropriate speed restriction with the carefully noted to determine whether the restriction of the restriction consisting of the bridge with the traffic condition. The additional traffic marker that may be required of the facility to save the continuous flow of the traffic. Alright, B, details military sign. Circular sign with the military and civilian leadership. The marked circular sign that indicated the military loads. Classification should be the yellow background with black inscription. Low diameter of the signs allowed with these signs should be placed on both ends of the bridge. A position when clearly visible on coming the traffic required to have the appearance of these signs of the summarized in 833. Alright, rectangular sign with the additional instruction and technical information described in the rectangular sign of the sign that should be a minimum of 16 inches with the height of the width of the have the yellow background upon with the appropriate level. The figure of the symbols with the inscribed in black. These signs with the other than indicating the height of the restriction should be placed immediately below the bridge. Classification sign height of the restriction sign should be placed essentially with the overhead obstruction. Alright, details. Civilian aids. Location of the wave limit of the sign being relative should be located just ahead. Should the bridge height less than 3 inches. If you hit the telltale, you cannot cross the bridge. If you hit telltale, you cannot cross the bridge. Turn out ahead. And then it showed the 835's appropriate markings clearance for the civilian bridges. 8.3 showed the minimum lane width of 4 by 12 to 9 foot by 18 foot and 13 by 30, 11 foot and 18 foot, 31 by 60, 13 foot, 2 inches by 24 foot, 61 100, 14 foot, 9 inches, 27 feet. Bridge lateral clearance of the sign should be determined the requirement of the highway the type of the other heavily traveled roadway with its freeway the side mount with the side beat in position 30 feet with the edge of the traveled way located behind the barrier of the guardrail with the for the breakaway installation. Unless travel route with the sign should be preferably located behind the barrier with the guardrail with the fix for the breakaway the same with any sign with the force vision has to be have which does not meet the preceding criteria should be the reported. Conditions important all the cautions of the good condition evaluation of the condition adequacy sign of the depending on the condition prevent with given the name of the suggested AASHEO of the manual of the uniform traffic control device consult the specific information regarding signs should be checked the reflectorization adequate reflectorization of the painting of the required night visibility legibility with no whether the black engine with the difficult to read with the maybe to cover the dirt with the encroachment with the delta and paint with the inadequate lettering of the inadequate signs of the sign side of the ASAHEO uniform control devices traffic control devices guidelines criteria for the file with the evaluation legibility. Alright, vandalism. Bullet holes and paint smears and campaign stickers and accessories should be noted. The minimum size of the general most of the warning side of the damage shape measured at least 30 by 30 inches. The low clearance signs to be 36 by 36 and the weight limit should be rectangular with a minimum dimensions of the 18 by 24 inches. Vegetation, minor roads having vegetation growth may obscure the sound of the note. The type of the location of the vegetation so that may be trimmed and removed entirely. Relocation of the sign of the necessary include the remarks, inspection report, sign support damage to know whether the sign and support bent was there other damage. Alright, 825, utilities. Check the pipe with the duct for the central leak with a break with the crack with the deterioration. Cover the check with the support for the signs of the corrosion damage, loose connection, general lack of the rigidity of the utility mounting with the rattled during the capacity of the traffic, especially on steel bridges, and note the need of the padding. Alright, check for the annual space for the pipe with the sleeve between the pipe with the lock up over the leak with the utility pipe with the abutments for the check with the leaking the water sewer pipe with the damage with the check with the air with the water sewer pipe with the determine whether the mail usually has the transmit with it as such with the available volatile fuel with electrically sufficiently isolate from each other the issue with the utility side by side with the same day with the report with the condition auxiliary estimates in case of the future relocation. Check utility located beneath the bridge for the adequate road of the claim to determine whether the utility obstruct with the waterway with the position and the hinder for the drifts of the removal during the period of the high water. Check for the encasement of the pipe with carrying with the fluid under the pressure of the damage. Check with the veins of the drainage. Leave the check with the presence of the shutoff valve of the pipeline. Carrying with the heads of the pressurized fluid with the inlet of the fluid is apply with the controlled automatically device. Note whether the utility located with the thereby possibility may be struck with the damage of the traffic that always debris carried with the high water. Determine whether the utility is adequate support whether the presence of the heads of any of the traffic whether may cover the pass under the bridge. Check with the wear of the deterioration, shielding, insulating the power cable. Check the adverse effect of the utility have the bridge for the interference with the bridge, maintenance of the operation impairing. Structural integrity. Check with the vibration, expansion, the movement of causing the cracking of the supporting members. Check with the supporting members of the bridge with paint damage. No any adverse effect utilities might have on the bridge. A26 lighting, white lighting. Collection, not any light bulb that have the density of the scrap of the crackling and cloud with otherwise damage with aluminum light standard with the casing, casting with the most likely suffer the fatigue. Check with the cracking is most harm with the casting with the standards. At the base of the stand, especially if the gas element corrosion, check with the steel stand for the rusting of the concrete stand for the check cracking and spalling the electrical system. The check with this part of the inspection should be made with the wiring and inspection of qualified electrician. Wiring, observe the exposed wiring with the sign of the faulty warning the damaged insulation over the report with the found with the bad wiring. Practice with the lunch with the express of the wire, loose wire with the poor wires, placed with inadequate securing guidelines. Junction box. Check for the inside of the junction box with the depth of moisture drain hole with the poor wire with the slice loose connection. Note the condition of the wiring insulation with the base of the lights conditions. The name of the junction box. Examine this well. Note whether the junction box outlet of the black switch box cover the display with the continuity. Check with the continuity of the rust for the missing connections. Section. Check for the curve of the sidewalk with the large cracks that may have the fracture for the continuity embedded in them. Note whether the continuity boxes braces in the box are properly secure. All right, white wave current. On the other restricted white wave current is carried over the open line with above the sidewalk. Check with the hanging of the hanging object with the side of the fishing line with the moth of the lamp line. Damage strand of the mouse. Any with the missing damage strand for the covered plate over the electrical eye controller. We'll have the turning on the light to note the number, the location of the lights that do not illuminate. Sign lighting and the inspection light. Signal sign light with the same defect with the conventional light. No navigation lights. Lights, check with determining whether all the required navigation light for the present properly located the fixed bridge with the green navigation light with the suspend with the superstructure over the channel sensor line with the red light with the place for the mark of the channel edge of where the piers situated the channel edge of the red light with the position of the proper piers and with the removable span with the navigation light. Lighting requirements of vary according to the bridge type with the doubt with the requirements of the refer to section 68 with the coastal guard pamphlet CG 204 and aid of the navigation. 2. Lighting device. Check overall the condition of lighting device whether they are rust, whether any lenses are broken and missing, whether the lights of the furnishing correctly wiring. Check the condition of the continuity securing the device, determining whether they're loose or corroded. Aerial obstruction light with the short bridge with less than 150 feet should be less than be at least 2 continuous glow red lights to be mounted with the high points for the structure of the structure. Red lights should be placed at 150 to 600 foot intervals. While the set to the least for the 3 flashing red beacons must be mounted on the top of the peaks widely separated with the high points over the suspension bridge to tower of the truss cap. Then check with these lights the proper maintenance and functioning. All right, we're gonna cut the tape because I like a railroad to be separate.